I'm going to be presenting two different things. The first one is the Snowflake Creator by myself, Rachel Wicks. I did the paper and I did the digital. It took me a couple of times with the paper, and I think it's just because I don't know, maybe my brain doesn't think that way, but I think it's going to be great for kids. What helped me was taking like a digital snip on the computer and then a paper snip. Digital paper, digital paper. I think the kids would be very engaged with this. It could teach them symmetry. It's going to teach them shapes. It'll teach them how each snowflake is unique, just like themselves. You can make multiple snowflakes on the digital. I actually loved the program. It was really a fun activity to do. Now I'm going to go on to What Do Animals Do by myself, which I've already said in my name. I loved making this. It was a great book and build. First thing I would do is read the book, What Do You Do with a Tail Like This? Now, I've already got my objectives stated, grades 1 through 3, that kids are going to, be able to explain how an animal uses the body parts to help them in their environment. So as we're reading this book, they're going to discover that. They're going to discover why certain tails work better. Some tails are going to drop off because they're scared. Some tails are used for swatting flies or hanging on trees. Eyes facing forward usually means you are a predator, while eyes facing on the side are sometimes the prey. Not always, but sometimes. And this is going to lead right into the UTEC model. So if you'll notice, I have all 4 stages, the using, the engaging, the tinkering, researching questions or questioning, experimenting, building and repurposing, creating, inventing, and producing. And we will go through each one of those phases. The first one is using. While we read the book, or after we read the book, we will take a poll to see which animal body part do the students think are the coolest. They're going to create a bar graph. Now this bar graph can be in their learning journal, chart paper, smartboard. You could pull up an app on the website and have them create a bar graph that way too. The cool thing about it, it can be differentiated based on your kids' skills, and it opens up a conversation. The kids are discussing, they're becoming engaged in the lesson. They're trying to prove why that body part is the best. And you've got to love that. Now we're going to start with the tinkering. They've already begun to start questioning it, but now they're going to be researching and playing around with it. Here's the Switch Zoo. Switch Zoo uses actual photographs for the students to create an animal. They also have a binome right down here. You have one on the right that shows the planet, and it shows where each binome is on the planet. The one on the left shows actual photographs, and the students have to drag and drop the correct type of plants that would go in that binome. And it would actually tell you, yes, this is the correct plant because, or no, it's not. So one of the apps, as I mentioned, was Switch Zoo. There is another app as well called the Creaturizer on PBS. And this is the one I used on this one. You create a creature. You can select the body part. You could change the head, change the feet, change the body and the noses. And it's interactive on Apple devices, so you can move it around, see how it's going to look in different environments. Hey, it's hanging out with the furry friends. Oh, it created a stink bomb. It is trying to eat vegetables. That's where you are analyzing and going, well, walrus teeth aren't exactly great for a jalapeno and a potato. Maybe I need to change that. So the students are analyzing as they're experimenting, and I just love that. Both of those apps are really cool to use. So I have creating part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is the students are inventing their creature of their choice. They're explaining those body parts. They're showing how it's going to survive in the habitat. Like this feathered flyer, that was another creature I created on the Creaturizer, and I'm showing its not so natural habitat. Another cool thing about that is you can zoom in and make it larger or smaller. This is creating part 2. I created a different animal. I have the binomes here, and I'm thinking maybe this creature wouldn't work so well because it has a fish tail. Fish have to live in water. They're not going to do well on a dry grassland. So then I started thinking about, well, I think I want to create a bunny dog. So here's my little puppy who thinks she's a bunny. She gets real excited and hops like them. And I like bunnies. And I played around and tried to figure this out, but I didn't like it. So this is where you have some more differentiation. Maybe they don't want to do the technology. Maybe they want to draw it out. So I drew mine out. I created, it's sort of a cross between a body of a dog and a rabbit, but it has the strong haunches of a rabbit, has the tail of a dog. It has the little whiskers of a dog because, whiskers, they can whip up the smell up to their nose easier. And, they can decide, do they want to go left? Do they want to go right? Is this something they want to eat? It just grabs all the smelly smells of the world up to their nose. And they have little eyebrows to help protect their eyes. The ears are a cross between a rabbit and a dog. Not quite as long as a rabbit, but not as short as the dog. And where I have them positioned, they can still hear danger around them. Look at the eyes. They're not positioned like a rabbit's eyes, but they're positioned more like a dog's. So I wanted to create this creature, and I was able to support why I use those body parts. The mouth, which you cannot see, is going to be more of a dog. It's going to have canines like a dog, so it can protect itself. So again, I am creating the creature, I'm analyzing it, and I'm justifying why it needs those body parts. So then I had the final product. I had all my supplies gathered. I started to cut it because I thought, I had a plan. I knew what I was going to do. And I made the finished product. So as you see, the pink tissue paper I made for the beard so it can do all those great sniffy things. I chose big button eyes because I wanted it to see the world around them. The bigger the eyes, the more they can see, the more they can prepare themselves or protect themselves from other creatures. And I did a big nose. Now the ears aren't quite as long as a rabbit, but not as short as a dog, and I have them stationed where they could swivel and detect sounds, and it can also warm them up. Now I did not create a body. I just wanted to do the face to show you how this could be done. So as another extension, you can use the snippet tool on the computer. You can teach the kids how to snip the background and paste it, how to trace the outline of the animal and do a cut and paste. So now you have your creature. They're living in that environment, and they're going to not only have to explain how their body works and protects themselves, but how the biome works and helps the creature survive. So it's all working together. I just want to thank you for listening to this presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did creating it. Thank you and have a great day.